Hi, welcome back to Reclaim with Dr. David. How are you all doing? So good to be here, and I'm hoping that you have been enjoying the episodes that I've been releasing on my life story. Today, I just wanted to focus on kind of concluding the whole thing, and first to say that I'm not finishing. This is not the end of the series, but for now, we will end to the episode number 10 that I'm recording right now, and then we will resume in the future. But in the meanwhile, I would like to start talking about different topics instead of just talking about myself all the time, Right, so episode number 10. So basically, I would like just to focus on my teenage, what kind of teenager I was, what kind of lessons that I learned, and hopefully that all the teenagers out there are going to be encouraged and also hopefully learn from my life story. So as I said previously, I had a rough childhood, but also a wonderful childhood based on the faith and that I have in God and my spiritual life that kind overruled everything that was around me. As the Bible says that we are covered by God's grace, and that grace makes us triumph anything. So growing up, previously I talked about poverty and lack, but today I would just want to focus on discipline and the way of life that I believe young people should follow. But it's for you to make a decision whether you agree with me or not. If you don't agree with me, or if you do agree, just let me know in the comment below your thoughts. So as a teenager, I was a very disciplined teenager. I really was. I knew what I wanted, and I went after it. I set goals. I wrote down my goals. I prayed every week. On Friday, I had a fast. I would pray and fast every Friday. I was part of a choir. I was the leader of a choir, and I was doing so much that was actually empowering me, allowing God to use me. I loved to pray, and I still love prayer a lot. Prayer is a big part of my life. Maybe that's something that I'll talk about in the upcoming videos, but I believe that prayer is very, very important. So as a teenager, I loved to pray, and I prayed, I read the Bible, and as I did these things, they transformed me and matured me and brought clarity in my life to know what is worthy pursuing. And also that clarity helped me to be able to know what to focus on and things that I should not focus on. So, as a teenager, I wanted that studying was my priority. Because I knew if I wanted to change my life, I need to work on myself, better myself. So I worked really hard. I still enjoy learning, but I loved learning. So I read books, I studied a lot, but also I loved music, and I still do love music. So I listened a lot of music. As I said, I was part of a choir. I used to be part of a band. I loved playing music. It was just, was a wonderful teenager. But that's one side. The other side was the temptations, things that worked against me. So first, I decided that I would be independent financially. And at a very young age, so I started working. My job was to lay bricks. I would make bricks. As I said previously, I was born in a country that was torn apart by war. So as a teenager, there was a lot of jobs in construction, because people were coming back to their areas where they used to live and starting to build houses again. And so there's a lot of jobs, and I loved my job of making bricks. I used to wake up every morning at 3 a.m. And that is during the summer holidays. So I would wake up and make bricks. And that was very, very important for me, because those 2 months of the summer holidays were the only time that I was allowed to work. So I would work and get enough clothes that I would need throughout the year, and things that I know I would need throughout the year. So, myself and my partner that we used to work together, we worked on a very fast pace that people wanted to hire us. People wanted to give us jobs. So I get contracts from different people who wanted us to say, when you finish making bricks for this person, I want you to come and do mine as well. And within days, I remember there's a day that I laid 2,000 bricks, the small bricks. I mean, not big ones, the small bricks. But I laid out 2,000 bricks in one day. So I remember looking at that and say, wow, yeah. So as a teenager, I worked hard. I wanted to help my family. I saw that my parents were struggling, and I wanted to contribute to some, in some ways, but not depending on them. So I would encourage young people to not take things for granted. You might probably were born in a family where you have everything, they give you everything, easily, But I think it's very important to not take those things for granted, and also to find ways to develop yourself so that you're not relying only on your parents, but to be able to contribute something back. It's an appreciation to your parents and to whoever that supports you. So that's one thing. Secondly, I was very focused in terms of relationships. I didn't want to start a relationship until when I finished high school. So when I was a teenager, you start wanting to have girlfriends, boyfriends, and there's peer pressure. But I questioned everything. Anything that I did, I needed to find reasons why. I would not just do something for the sake of doing it, but I would think twice. And when it comes to relationships, most teenagers want to have girlfriends. So I was seen as an odd one because I would ask them. I just didn't want to have a relationship, and I said I was not going to have a relationship until I finish high school. And my friends would actually question me and say, "Why? That girl likes you. That girl likes you." And because I used to sing, on podium, and I used to, I still love rap music, so I used to do rap, hip hop songs and things like that. And as a high school kid, that makes you, a bit famous, and everyone will want to hang out with you. So that was a temptation. I remember some of my friends were like, "No, you should get a girlfriend." All the girls are, I started, receiving letters, from girls and things like that. And I would there were so many temptations for me to sway away from my purpose or my goal or my decision. But I remember that by grace of God, I just stuck on what I said I would do. And people used to say, "No, there must be something wrong with you. Why are you like this? Why are you like that?" But I want to encourage teenagers, especially young people, before you do something, think it twice. Why are you doing it? Don't do things because other people are doing it. The truth is, at one point, you'll be away from these people. Yes, you're still together in high school as teenagers, but chances are slim that in the next 10, 20 years, you will still be together. Life will separate you naturally, and one day you found yourself doing things that someone else caused you to do, and that someone else is no longer there, and you are dealing with consequences. So I think it's very important that as a teenager, you make sure that any decision that you make, you have thought it through. And I also believe, as I said, by reading the Bible, by praying, by allowing the Spirit of God to guide me, I developed maturity and discernment that I would know this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, and I would find courage to do it, regardless of whether if others are supporting me or not. So yeah, relationships. So I stayed firm until when I finished high school. So when I went into university, then I went into a relationship. But these are things that I'll discuss in the future. Let's not go there. But you know what I mean. Make sure that you don't do things because they're pressurizing you. One thing that I used to ask my friends is, if you want to go into a relationship, instead of asking me am I into a relationship, why don't you tell me why you are in a relationship? Because when I questioned them, they would struggle to give me tangible answers. Why are you in a relationship now? Because a relationship has a purpose. If you are in a relationship with someone, it shouldn't be just to go around and do things. For me, every relationship has a purpose. I don't want to go into deeper, but let's leave that for the next video. But question everything. Make sure that you have enough tangible reasons that make that back your decision. So the other thing that I saw as a teenager that was quite interesting is before I started working, I talked about poverty previously. My father, so I didn't have shoes. I talked about a story about the guy with shoes previously in the previous video. But so I didn't have shoes, and then my dad went and bought some shoes. By the way, quite interesting, an interesting pair of shoes. So my dad went at the shop and looked at a pair of shoes, and they were trainers. And he looked at them. They were very, very cheap, but they were very strong shoes. And the front, they looked alike, but the back of the back of the foot, they were different. So if you don't look carefully, you think that they are a pair. But the truth was that they were taken from different pairs and put them together, the left foot and the right foot. So, but they were very, very cheap. So I remember my dad bought them for me, and he went and they transformed them a little bit, in the back to look a little bit similar. And I remember that I used to wear these shoes to go to high school, and at the start I didn't see that they were actually different, but it was a kind of a style for me. So I went and my friend used to look at me and like, those shoes don't look quite the same. And I'd be like, guys, just chill, And but at the one point I started pulling my trousers down to cover the top of the trainers, because that's what showed the difference. And I would just wear them to go to school. But I was grateful to have those shoes. But one of the things that happened when I was in high school that I think I should share, also to encourage young people to be thankful for those small things. Don't take anything for granted. Now, as a teenager, I started to get interested in philosophy and questioning things about life, about truth, about what is right, what is wrong. And I remember by the end of high school, I spent a whole year researching. As a teenager, I was researching what the meaning of the truth. I was like, what is the truth? And I used to even question what teachers were teaching us. Like, what tells me that what the teacher's teaching me is the truth? We were learning about theorems, different theories, in physics and mathematics. And I was like, this came from someone. What if they were wrong? What if we are just learning things that are totally wrong? And I remember that time that I was a bit actually troubled by these questions. And towards the end of the year, I talked to my dad, I talked to my pastor, talked to another guy who was like my mentor. And I was like, I want you to tell me the truth. They struggled actually to answer this question until one of them came up with an answer that helped me a lot. He read from the Gospel of John and he said, Jesus, when he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And he said, the truth is Jesus, and the truth is the Word of God. So anything that aligned with what God says, then it's true. Anything that is against or outside what God says, then it's wrong. That kind of helped me. What I'm trying to say here is, I want to encourage teenagers to think, to not just follow the crowd, to think things through. If you have questions, find the right people. Surround yourself with the right people, mentors. Read books that would help you to get answers, especially the Bible. Read the Bible every single day. It will transform you. I promise you, it will transform you. I was very fortunate to be around these people who were there to help me, to give me answers, also to guide me into what kind of books I should read and so on. So to finish this episode, I just want to kind of say that it is okay where you are. It is okay what you're going through doesn't determine who you are. What people say about you is just their opinion. It's not who you are. And that you should stick to seeking your own truth, seeking all the truth. And the truth is the Word of God. Whatever God says you are, that is who you are. The circumstances around you could say otherwise. The people around you could say otherwise. Your friends, your family could say otherwise. But whatever God says you are, that is who you are. And He says that you are loved. He said that you are strong. He said that you are wonderfully made. He said that you have success built in you. You came here for a purpose. You are already a finished product. You are not here to please anyone. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out. Sometimes you may feel like you are not enough. Sometimes you may feel like you are lacking. But trust me, when God created you, He put everything in you. Your job is to get in you and get these things out. Nothing of your success is outside you. Nothing of your fulfillment is outside you. It's good to have possessions. It's good to have things around you, but nothing matters really. What matters is what is within you. And I want to encourage you to go and find that is within. And that is the only thing that can give you full fulfillment. And so when God created you, He created you with a purpose in you. And He gave you the Spirit of God to guide you, to give you strength when it's difficult, to give you strength when you're going through dark times. So embrace that. Follow your dreams. Follow your purpose. Try to find, if you don't know your purpose, try to find it. Pray, read the Bible, listen to the voice of God that is talking through you and into you. You will listen, you will hear. If you listen, you will hear it. Right? So this is the end of my program, my episode today, but I want to encourage you. And I hope that my story has encouraged you. And I just want to ask you, I want to urge you to take action. If there's anything that you feel like you want to change in your life, if there's anything that you want to improve in your life, if you are at the point that you are at the point of giving up, if you are at the point where you feel like you are the worst place, I just want you to ask you to reconsider whether maybe those were the worst place than you, but who are still pointing on, who are still carrying on. So don't give up. So that's it. And God bless you. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in.